Combat Styles is a new way of choosing and playing your advanced class in the game. Before Combat Styles, the advanced classes were locked to a storyline that you played. So for example, you could only choose between Sith Sorcerer and Sith Assassin if you played as a Sith Inquisitor. This was implemented for all story classes and it limited you very much on what you could play as there was no switching in between the advanced classes on the same character. So the developers came with something new. Combat Styles. Combat Styles are divided into two different categories, Force and Tech. The Force combat styles include Sage, Shadow, Sentinel and Guardian for the light side, and for the dark side animations of the abilities do you get Sorcerer, Assassin, Marauder and Juggernaut. For the Tech combat styles do you have Gunslinger, Scoundrel, Commando, Vanguard, Sniper, Operative, Mercenary and Power Tech. And to make it even more complicated, every combat style has one mirror class, just as I briefly mentioned before, meaning that they are almost the exact same, except that the abilities have a different animation and name. For example, do you have the following mirror sets for the Force combat styles: Marauder and Sentinel, Juggernaut and Guardian, Assassin and Shadow, and as last, Sorcerer and Sage. The Tech combat styles have the following mirror sets: Operative and Scoundrel, Sniper and Gunslinger, Power Tech and Vanguard, and at last Mercenary and Commando. You do get to choose your first combat style when you create a new character. A second combat style will become available to you when you're a subscriber to the game and have finished the third arc of the main base storyline. You will, however, temporarily lose the access to the second combat style when you are no longer subscribed to the game. You will regain access to it again when you resubscribe. What makes picking a second combat style unique is also that you can switch between your allegiance of the main combat style after reaching either Dark or Light Side 5. This is however only for Force combat styles, as there is no allegiance restriction on the Tech combat styles. So this will enable you to, for example, make from your Sith Sorcerer a Sage and pick a second combat style which could be a Juggernaut, like anything really. The options will be limitless if you have reached Light or Dark Side 5, and it's also very important to know that your choice will be permanent, so choose wisely before making your decision. When you've made your decision, you can switch between the combat styles by going into your character sheet and selecting the combat style that you want to play as. And when you switch, your hotbars will automatically be filled with the abilities from the combat style. And to personalize the way how you play, have the developers also added in a new feature, the ability tree. This is where you select the extra stats or certain abilities that you wish to use. And to make things easier for you to save and load your combat styles, have the developers added a second new feature, which is called Loadouts. Now you may be wondering, I know everything about how combat styles work, but what are the different combat styles exactly? What should I pick for a tech healer or Force DPS? That's a good question, and it's also a question that I've answered in this video that should appear right now on your screen. I hope that this video gave you a better understanding on how combat styles work,